first ever REC investor marketplace. I have been trying to put this together now for the last 30, 60 days. And I have to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for joining me, my team, on a Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm coming to you live from Toronto. It's a beautiful day so any of my Torontonians, you're obviously enjoying this day, but yet you're still taking the time to watch and come to a place where you're going to have not one opportunity, not two opportunities, but three opportunities to invest into real estate today, either into a very passive turnkey investment and an investment where there's already a predetermined exit strategy, or a cash flowing opportunity. So let me know where you're, as we always do, let me know and let my team know where you're signing in from. We are going to be doing this all in 1 hour today. All three opportunities are going to be brought to you today on this webinar at the end at around 7:25, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be letting you know where you can go to get all the information, the pricing, how you make money, the performers, all of that. But you obviously need to wait till the end because I'm going to have three amazing guests joining me. But again, before I get into that, I want to thank also the team that put this all together. To Mr. Stephen Rochester, who's always behind the camera on the ones and twos and making sure that the connection's working. Essentially, if the audio's not working well, we know who to blame. It's him. But big shout out to Stephen Rochester, to Tyler Ty Walburn, who is our air traffic controller, our director of real estate concierge services. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to Luke, the Phenom Leasing, who a lot of you have been in contact with. And there's also our VP here at REC Canada, Laura Stewart, who obviously put a lot of the branding together. I'm not going to thank my business partner yet. And the reason is because he's going to be joining us live, because he actually is bringing one of the opportunities that we hold all the inventory for. So, I mean, we're very excited about that. Let me know, because I do see the comments here. And I also have Laura and Luke here helping out, and they're in the comment section. Leave your questions in the Q&A section. We will get to questions either later today or during the weekend, because I want to make sure that you get the opportunities today. This is going to be an educational event from the perspective of how you make money on one of these three investments. And when I do my due diligence, when Simeon and I do our due diligence for ourselves personally on investment properties, we always like to look at it from four questions. What is the investment opportunity? How much money do I need to invest? What is going to be my ROI, so the return on the money? And as well as what risks. The number four question is going to be what risks are involved. So I'm going to be speaking to all three of my guests today about those questions, because then and only then, again, in my opinion, can you make an informed and quality decision. I want to emphasize something to everyone who's watching today. We are expecting a little over 350 people. Yes, you heard that properly. We are expecting a little over 350 people joining us today. I'm getting goosebumps just mentioning how many people I'm thinking about. Wow, that's how many people want to spend a Friday night with Jazz and look at my face. I know that's not the reason why you're joining me. You're joining me today to see how you can actually invest in real estate. How can it be passive? How can it be turnkey? Where am I going to get the cash flow? I know that's why you're joining us. But again, just a massive kudos to you guys, because you're taking out the time. Not everybody takes out the time on a Friday night to learn not only about an investment opportunity, but also take advantage and take action. There's a massive sign to the left of me here, and a lot of you from the podcast have seen it, and it serves as a reminder to myself, to my team, to any of my viewers on my podcast, to any clients that walk into this office. It says ready, fire, aim. I think that's a great philosophy to live by in business and in life in general. But when it comes to real estate, it really resonates with me. And I'll tell you why. Because see, in real estate, you can take action on a property and then do the due diligence later. Because every single opportunity that I'm going to bring to you comes with a due diligence period. See, what happens is on a night like tonight, when there's over 350 people watching, and we only have approximately 40 to 45 properties, units that are going to be available, if you start to take the time to think about it, the chances of it being available is going to be gone. Now, don't hear me as rushing you, because I want you to be aware of the fact that you can actually tie up the property just by taking the steps that I'm going to mention to you at around 7:25, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. I'm going to let you know where to get all the information for not just the one of the properties, not just two, but all three. You can get information on just one if that's kind of what you're looking to do. However, you can actually tie up these properties by filling out a reservation form, which again, there's no money being transferred at that time. We're just making sure that one of our team members are going to be reaching out to you again for any one of these three properties. And in the comments, I'm seeing it light up now, as well as the Q&A. Make sure to go to the Q&A section. Again, if we don't get the questions answered tonight, I promise you, one of the three speakers and one of the three guests that's going to be joining me or our team will be reaching out to you by the weekend to make sure you get all your questions answered. But when I tell you at around 7:25, 7:30 tonight, where to get all the information, most of your questions are going to be answered. Stephen, I'm ready to rock, man. I'm really excited about the first opportunity, the first guest that I'm going to be bringing on. A lot of you know him. We've been doing deals together and bringing opportunities to REC insiders for the last decade now. He's based here out of Toronto. He's helped a lot of our insiders make, look, a lot of money. In fact, last year, exactly around this time, we did a 12-hour real estate marathon. I think it had a lot to do with the fact that I just like to hear my voice and see if I can go on for 12 hours straight nonstop. But more importantly, 24 people got into an investment opportunity, and their values have already gone up anywhere from about $75,000 to $85,000 because they took action that night. And this gentleman helped make all that happen. Stephen, are we ready to bring on Mr. Charles JQ? There he is. You got the headset. What are you like? Look at that. I see the CN Tower behind you. I'm not surprised. How you doing?
I'm great, Jazz. How you doing?
I'm amazing, buddy. I'm amazing.
Good,
I love the
good.
beard. I haven't seen you for a bit.
I know.
I
It's
know
the
how
pandemic,
busy.
right?
I
Figured I'd
know.
try something new.
Look,
Had the
it
chance
looks
to take
great.
some
Look,
risks.
I got one going as well, but
Yeah.
I got my fresh fade, Charles.
Always
Charles,
looking clean.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. You're good for my ego. I wish I could keep you around in my pocket all day long, buddy. But look, I promised everyone I'm gonna get everyone out of here today by 7:30. I'm gonna try my best. To get everyone out. I have a running bet with Laura and Steven that I'm gonna be able to do this, and I'm gonna stick to the time. So why am I mentioning this? Because we are going to go through your opportunity that you're helping my insiders possibly invest into. And we're going to go through this in 15 minutes. So first and foremost, Charles, what is the opportunity that we have available through you today?
It's called Cielo. This is a unique opportunity.
Well, cielo for my Latin friends and cielo for my Italianos, right?
Exactly. It means sky. It means sky. And this is a tower. This is a AAA location, downtown Toronto, walking distance to Yonge and Bloor, walking distance to Yorkville, walking distance to the Mink Mile, right across the street from the University of Toronto. And this is actually a rare location for a condo tower, even though it's right downtown. So it's just west of Spadina. It's the northwest corner of Bloor and Huron. And the reason why it's rare is because the Annex neighborhood is all heritage protected. You know, the Eaton Center in downtown Toronto, like Mr. Eaton, his house was in the Annex. It was like the old mansions of Toronto, right? Gooderham and Warts, the distillery district. Mr. Gooderham and their family, they were in the Annex. So these are big old houses in the Annex. It's all heritage protected. we're right on Bloor. There's actually an 1800s built church, a 19th century built church that we're right behind. We're in the parking lot right behind it. So we're just set right back from Bloor. And what's unique about this is because of the heritage protection, the only development that can happen is really along Bloor. And because the building's set back behind the church, you can't have anything directly to your left and right. So you've got unobstructed views in every direction, right? The north is the Annex, the south is U of T, which is the top university in the country, right? So this is an international location, and you're walking distance to Bloor Street, right? So Bloor Street, I mean, the Mink Mile, a lot of people don't know, you know, Christian Dior, right? The global fashion house has the largest store in North America right here in Toronto on Bloor Street.
Well, look, I mean, I know a lot about fashion, as you can tell. You know, my t-shirt and my jeans.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I mean, there's nothing I know about fashion, but I definitely know Bloor Street. I definitely know Yorkville. And look, for us, it always comes down to location, location, location. And when you're talking about, you know, where this building's going to be situated, it's a 97 walk score, I believe, a 98 transit score, a 98, 99 bike score. Like, I mean, you don't really come across center ice opportunities that often, especially this early and this early in the pricing stage as well. So I definitely want to go into the fact that this is a new build opportunity that we're speaking about, Charles. And
you're one of the first people that we bring this to,
well,
right?
look,
So typically, you know, we deal with like the best of the best, right? With the best networks, you know, and the real experts. And so this is the first group that we're actually previewing this with. And so like we don't even have the exact date when we're going on sale. It might be next week, it might be the week after. Like that's how early we are. I'm here in the office, and the whole team's doing late hours. But you know, Jazz, you were talking about clients that have been acquiring real estate with you, right? And clients that are building these big portfolios, right? And what we're finding is that the people that are putting up their hands for this project are those that they've built out their portfolio, and now they want something unique. Now they want something distinct, AAA. They want that trophy property, right? They want something that they're never going to flip. They're going to hold on to this, and they're going to think, maybe I'll move into this, right? So we're designing this end user building with luxury finishes, an international level architect that's doing something truly distinct with the architecture. So it's one of a kind, right? And it's one of a kind. And part of the reason why we're doing the one of a kind architecture is because it's got that one of a kind location, because of the heritage, the lack of supply, right? And then you're walking distance to Yorkville, and you got the top school in the country right across the street. So this isn't an opportunity for everybody, right? This is for the sophisticated real estate investor. This is for, you know, the business owners, the dentists, the doctors, the people who are looking to put something special, that trophy property, into their portfolio.
I got to give a big shout out to Tyler again, because he's calling this the Mount Rushmore of Toronto condos when this gets built, and I truly believe it. I mean, the look of this building, the finishes of this building, obviously the location we've spoken about. I mean, it's going to be second to none. There's probably going to be, like, I know Mount Rushmore is 4, but I'm going to say there's like, this is going to be one of the top 5 buildings within the next decade, guaranteed. Because as I mentioned, the developer himself, Collective, I mean, one of the top developers in the city. We've done a lot of stuff, a lot of the insiders that are on right now, and we're getting very, very close to about 250 people coming on. I know there's people who are coming on late. They're having their vino and they're finishing their dinner and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm still waiting for my Swiss Chalet to make it after this webinar. But as people are coming on, what I really want to get to, and we're good on time, just so you know, I want to get to, how do people make money in this type of investment when it's a new build, Charles? Because this building's going to be built, correct me if I'm wrong, brother, I think it's 2027?
2026 at the earliest, probably 2027.
Look,
Probably.
I mean, I appreciate the honesty, brother, because if you say 2026, if the builder says 2026, I automatically add another 6 to 9 to 12 months automatically, especially in Toronto, especially in downtown Toronto, where it's hard to just do a lot of construction, and our weather as well. So it's call it a 5-year play. that this building is going to take to get built. We are then, when it gets built here at REC, we're going to rent out that unit for our investors for 1 year and help them with the management at no cost, which makes it very turnkey. It's a passive investment because all you're doing is putting down deposits, installments of 5% every, call it, year or so. I know the ink's not dry yet on the deposit structure, but I've done projects where it's out 5 years. I can kind of guesstimate what the deposit and the down payment structure is going to look like. But where's the money made? Like, how does the investor actually make money in this type of investment, Charles?
Let me tell you. So this is a unique investment. Okay, so this is for people that are looking to invest in the best of the best. They want the best finishes, they want the best architecture, they want the best location, and it's for people who truly believe in the future of the city, right? And we're designing this as an end user building, which is unique, and unique properties in AAA locations appreciate the best, right? But there's also the U of T factor. If you look at buildings around the city in the downtown core, U of T buildings, like in close proximity, are the ones that are trading at the highest pricing. See, I talked about the Mink Mile, I talked about Bloor, I talked about Yorkville, but that's not actually the main driver for price per square foot, right? And highest rents. The real driver is proximity to U of T. Yorkville is a bonus, okay? Yorkville is a lifestyle thing, right? And our proximity to Yorkville is a big deal, but being on Bloor is a big deal. Having something that's rare is a big deal, but being right across from a university that has 100,000 students, 63,000 are right there across the street on the St. George campus, right? 22% are international. Those international students are paying $40,000 to $60,000 every year, and the parents are sending their kids overseas, right? So to be safe, to be focused on their studies, they're willing to pay top dollar. So if you look, for example, at 203 College Street, if anyone's taking notes, you can write that down. 203 College Street is on the south side of U of T. It's on College Street. This is a mid-market building. It's got no balconies. It's trading currently on the resale market. It's brand new, it just occupied. It's traded currently at $16.25 per square foot. That's the highest trading mid-market building in the city. The rental rates are $6 to $7 per square foot. A 775 square foot 3-bedroom is renting for $5,100 per month. So
wait, just go over those numbers once again, because I want to make sure people, because we're going to talk about what the average price per square foot here is. I just want you to go over those numbers again.
Sure. Okay. So the building is trading currently on the resale market on a price per square foot basis at over $1,600 a foot. It's about $1,625 per square foot for the sales. The rentals are between $6 to $7 per square foot. And what's happening is these people are spending the entire month, the entire year in rent upfront. They're paying the entire year upfront, and they're not furnished units, right? There's no balconies. This is a mid-market building with a fantastic location and with great views over the campus, okay? So with Cielo, we're offering that on the north side of campus. Now, the south side of campus is where you have the science buildings. It's where you have engineering. The north side of campus is where you have the business schools, Rotman's. You're like a 4-minute walk to Robarts Library, which is the 4th largest library in North America. And it's 24 hours. That's where everybody wants to be. And then you've got that bonus of being walking distance to Yorkville as well. And you arguably also have the best transit connection in the city. And the reason why I say that is because you have what we're calling the 224. You've got 2 subway stations on either side within a 2-minute walk that go in all 4 directions. That is unbelievable in the city of Toronto. Now, there's another thing. In terms of transit, the Spadina streetcar line. You know, Toronto is famous for its streetcars. They're red, they're in all the pictures, right? But the best streetcar systems in the world, they're dedicated streetcar lines. So that means that the car traffic doesn't interrupt it. So they're fast, right? So a good case study of that is in Budapest, in Hungary. They have the best streetcar system in the world. But we have that same thing on Spadina, which is a 2-minute walk from the building as well. So it's almost like having an LRT right there. So like we're making things up. We're calling this the Entertainment Express, okay? Because you have all the best entertainment stops in the city, a 2-minute walk away on this LRT, right? The dedicated line Spadina, the Spadina streetcar. You can go to Harvard Village with all of the great restaurants. You can go to Kensington Market. You can go to Chinatown. You can go to Baldwin Village. You can go to Queen Street West. You can go to King Street West. You can go to the Rogers Center for baseball games. You can go to the Harborfront. So, and you don't go underground. You just jump on and off. Like, it's really fun. It's a great way to spend the day. If anyone's near Toronto and you want to have a fun day, you can do that all day, right? Just go up and down. So it's almost like having a third subway line, right? Because you've got the subway going north-south. Then you've got the subway east-west along Bloor, and then you've got our Entertainment Express, the Spadina line, which is dedicated south of Bloor, going all the way down Spadina, right?
Now, Charles,
so, yeah.
Sorry, no. What I wanted to say is, like, for me, the second I heard the address, I was like all in. I'm like, let's do this. Let's bring this to the marketplace. I mean, are you okay to share the address? I don't think you've actually given out the address yet.
Yeah, for you, yes. 300 Bloor Street West.
Amazing.
300 Bloor Street West. And let me add something to that. We studied it. If you look at all of the buildings along Bloor Street with the Bloor Street address, from Mount Pleasant, which is to the east, to the junction, right? To Bloor and Dundas. It's like practically Etobicoke. For those of you who aren't from Toronto, that's like a 6-kilometer stretch. There's only 10 condo buildings. And knowing Toronto, that's very few for such a prestigious street, right? Everyone talks about Yonge Street, because that's where all the big condos are. It's very central in the city, and it's a great city. But Bloor Street is the prestigious street, and Bloor Street is where it's rare. So you've only got 10 condo buildings on that stretch, and that includes these old buildings, that were built so long ago with a handful of units in them. On Yonge Street, just in the downtown, you've got 22 high-rise towers by comparison. So, what they're calling this building, Cielo, is, an unexpected luxury and a rare Bloor Street address. So the rarity of this, is incredible. And let me just go on by saying, to the east of us is Yonge and Bloor, right? Yonge and Bloor is booming. There's a radius of development. You've got the current and future tallest towers in the city at Yonge and Bloor, but not everybody wants to be there. It's fun, right? It's fun to visit, but not everybody wants to live there 24/7. The people that are downsizing out of like Rosedale and Forest Hill and like these neighborhoods with the highest incomes in Canada, they want a little bit more room to breathe. They want to visit Yorkville, but they don't necessarily want to live in it, right? So Cielo has that, and we have unobstructed views in every direction. That itself is a luxury.
And can you just remind me, how many stories is this building?
So this is a 30-story building. And normally with a 30-story building, these new condos have about 400 units, right? But what we're doing is we're doing larger units on the upper floors. So the average suite size is significantly larger, which means that there's only 284 units in the building. And just to tie back the Yonge and Bloor discussion with what we were talking about with Theory condos. So by the way, 1 Bloor East, which is a super tower, right, at a prime AAA location, walking distance to Yorkville, because you think Yorkville is like the best neighborhood, so it's going to have the most expensive prices, right? That's trading on the resale market at just over $1,300 a foot. Remember, Theory, that's over $1,600 a foot. And then you have 88 Cumberland is another good example. At Cumberland and Bay Street, that's trading at $1,400 per square foot.
Now, here at Cielo, you say Cielo, I'm still sticking with Cielo. It's going to be coming in at around, would you say, about $2,000 price per square foot?
We're certainly going to have some inventory around $2,000 a foot.
Okay.
And we've got things starting in the 18s and in the 19s per square foot.
Okay, perfect. Now,
yeah.
I just want to really quickly recap to everyone. If you're just coming on a little late, this is the first opportunity that we're releasing on the first ever REC Investor Marketplace. I'm going to let you know where you can go to get all the information on not only the Cielo, but the 2 other opportunities that we're going to be speaking about. But what I wanted to do in the next minute before I let you go, Charles, is just quickly speak about how important it is for investors to get into first access pricing, because we do this 200 times a year. In the last 8 years, myself and my team have helped a little over 1,600 clients with this specific type of investment, which is called the new build condo investment. And how money's really made is the fact that if you buy in first access, absolute first access pricing, which this is, so early that, in fact, Charles has not released this to anyone else but us here and to my 350 REC insiders today that are watching the first ever REC Investor Marketplace, is you're going to be putting down deposits of anywhere from 5 to 10% every single year. It's probably going to be close to 5% every year. But what the builder is doing every time they allocate units, they increase the price. And that's why from today to about 5 years from now, when this building gets built, you would probably be looking at, and I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I'm taking that massive sample size of 1,600 units as our teacher. Let history be our teacher. In fact, I think it's the only teacher. It's definitely the best teacher. It shows that in a 5-year period, you're going to be looking at anywhere from about $130,000 to about $150,000 increase, while including the passive appreciation and the forced appreciation that is happening by the builder allocating units. Now, what people always ask is, what is the risks? Which is definitely the question that you want answered. And here's what the risk is when you're investing into a new build, is that the builder doesn't build the condo, but your deposits are held in trust, so you get all your money back. Do projects get canceled? Yes, they do. It happens very, very rare, but it does happen. But your money is protected. It's in trust. Now, how do we determine if a builder is good and they're going to build? We look at their reputation. We look at what they've done in the past. And when we're speaking about Collective, as I mentioned, Collective is one of the top builders in the city. We did a lot of stuff with this specific builder on the 401 in Wilson area for Tretti, as well as Nordic, probably going back about 18 months to about 24 months ago. And Charles, obviously you were with us. I'm gonna allow you to leave my insiders and everyone joining us here on the marketplace today with one tip about this type of investment, or just something about Cielo, brother.
You're absolutely right. First access is so important. That's where you get the low-hanging fruit. As the builder gets confidence, that's when they increase the pricing. When they come to market, they're putting their best foot forward, right? So you're 100% right. And what's the risk? It's about the builder reputation, right? So Collective, we're celebrating our 75th year anniversary. These guys, they were 50-50 partners with the Ontario government on Fallsview Casino, right? They built the suburb of Don Mills. They built Yonge and Davisville Village, the RioCan Center, and they sold it to RioCan. These are some of the big guys. So definitely one of the top builders in the country. And Jazz, thank you so much for having me on the show and allowing me to represent Collective and bring this exciting opportunity to your exclusive people. Thank you.
I really appreciate it, buddy. And you're playing on my heartstrings when you said Don Mills, because that's exactly where I'm coming from right now. It's where the head office is. So I appreciate you, buddy. Charles, thank you so much. I will definitely be in contact. You'll be meeting a lot of our insiders as we're just creeping past that 250 mark of people watching right now. And I'm just so excited. And thank you again for your time, Charles.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone. Looking forward to staying on and watching the rest. Bye now.
Well, to everyone else, we still have 2 more opportunities that we're bringing to you. As I promised, I'm going to try to get everyone out of here with all the information and the ability to actually reserve a unit at Cielo or one of the other 2 opportunities. And joining me right now is a familiar face, not as good looking as the face that's on your screen right now. We got this ongoing poll that's been happening for the last 12, 13 years. It's none other than my brother from another mother, coming in from the beautiful city of Mississauga, Ontario, Mr. Simeon Papa Elias. How you doing, brother? Your audio is a little low. I can't hear you, brother.
How's that?
Much better. Fantastic. Look, I mean,
let me just adjust my microphone for you.
Thank you very much. You're usually sitting here with me on the, in the studio here during our brunches, but you and the rest of the team have been going crazy for the last 5-7 days, making sure that this opportunity is all the due diligence has happened and we're ready to launch this to our REC insiders. Brother, I mean, why don't you take 30 seconds, because you're over there, you're not with me right next to me because we just couldn't do it logistically today because of timing. I mean, how excited are you that this is the first ever REC marketplace and we have hundreds of people now watching us live?
I couldn't be more proud of our team. I couldn't be more proud of, and I don't like to say these things in public, of you for the work. Exactly. It won't happen again. Don't worry. Don't worry. Never again.
Hey, good thing we're recording this. Hey, Seamus, good thing we're recording.
You're gonna play it for me every morning, are you?
Every morning, I'm just gonna send you a voice note of what you just said, buddy.
Listen, a lot of work goes into these things to organize. And today, literally, I was on the golf course with some of our biggest strategic partners, and we had the opportunity. I had the opportunity to meet with the Minister of Long-Term Care, the Minister of Mental Health. We are taking a step in our business, Jazz. I'm sharing this with our REC insiders because they're going to be watching our journey to get into the retirement space. And the retirement space is single-handedly the biggest worry of government right now, because there is a massive generation, the country's biggest generation in population, aging, and infrastructure, just like housing, is an extremely short supply, meaning that long waiting lists for people to get into retirement facilities, long waiting lists for people to get the care that they feel they need and or deserve, especially modern state-of-the-art places. So with that being said, it's not a coincidence I was golfing with those people today. It took a lot of planning. It's just coincidence that it's happening at the heels of our launch of this commercial project. But we made a lot of headway today with knowledge and intimate knowledge of what the government is doing, especially if there is if the same people are re-elected in these ridings. They have ongoing efforts that are going to come into fruition. So it's just, there's so much exciting stuff.
Let's get right into it, brother. I mean, let's
get right into it.
Yeah. So what is the opportunity?
We're trying to stay within a time limit too. So.
Well, here's the cool thing. I said before you came on, I didn't thank you either. Like I thanked the whole team because I knew you were going to be coming on with me. So thank you for coming on, obviously, brother. But I also mentioned that the coolest thing about this opportunity is that we control all the inventory. It's really, really cool. Like where the first opportunity, we only have select amount of units and we have to play with Charles and the builder, and they do a great job with us because we have so much experience and a very positive a track history with them. Here it's slightly different in the favor of our investors because we hold all the inventory. And obviously, just like I was speaking to Charles about Cielo, there is a reason why you want to get in early, because we're also going to be increasing the pricing as we go along. But to everyone today, they're going to get the opportunity to get into first access. And not only that, because you mentioned the time, I don't want anybody to worry. Because you're actually going to be sitting down with Simos later, after, if you put in a reservation form, and he's going to go through all the numbers and he's going to go through all the performance. But at a high level right now, brother, what is this opportunity for our investors?
I'm going to try to really stick to the points. Maybe we'll elaborate on a few. So here we go. First and foremost, the listing, the exclusive listing of this commercial opportunity. For those who don't know, my practice as a broker is in commercial real estate. So I source sites for builders, I sell plazas. This is what I do for a living. So
can you sit a little closer? Simos, I want you to sit a little bit closer to the mic. Perfect.
So just to be super clear with our REC Nation, because they see us doing retail investments to investors, but not everyone knows the behind the scenes. I am a commercial broker. I do specialize in analysis and due diligence. So we do a lot of consulting in that sector as well for developers that are building and need comparables, etc. This specific group is led by Trisect Construction. They're based out of Mississauga. Trisect is, and they're one of two construction groups in the entire province that are warranted and are able to work with the Toronto Port Authority. That's how high grade their bond and their operation is. So they work in the airport, the ports, and they've built a lot of commercial. They've done hospitals. They've done a lot of government infrastructure. Something that a lot of people would know that they've built is the Ritz-Carlton downtown. They did the entire retail up to the 11th floor where the condos started. So they built all that. So they're extremely well capitalized. They're extremely well versed and very connected, which is, again, just like Collective that we're talking about earlier. And great job to Charles on trying to bring that opportunity around. The track record of the people involved is probably the biggest piece of the due diligence. Who's involved? So Trisect and their CEO, Tom Bukovich, which he's extremely humble, approachable, and if you do get involved in this investment, there's no doubt that you will be seeing him or meeting him at some point because he's that type of guy. He's a very hands-on, involved CEO, and he runs a great ship. The property is located on James Street North in Hamilton. Hamilton, for those outside the province, is a population of over 500. They're approaching 700 to 800 during the day, just over 600,000 at this point, call it home. So it's a big city. Because we live in Toronto, we always think of Hamilton as a smaller outside of Toronto. But for the rest of the country, it's as big, just a little under what Calgary is, to put it into perspective. So Hamilton is huge. Hamilton's population is growing significantly because of Toronto's boom. The market there has skyrocketed. In the last decade, they went from $260,000 average price to just over $700,000 average price for a home today. So this isn't information that we're making up. Anybody wants to go to Google and put in CMHC, which is the Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation, you're going to be able to validate every piece of information that I use to do the due diligence. So in 10 years, it has gone 300%. Understand that. Over the next 15 years, they're going to see another 20% increase in population. Massive.
Well, as Toronto, as we get people here coming into Toronto, you start to look to the outskirts, right? You start to look to places where you can qualify more, and Hamilton's always.
But you're using the word outskirts because you're from Toronto.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I agree.
But I'm living this development right now because it's literally taken over my life.
Yeah.
And I almost feel bad for always thinking of Hamilton as an outskirt. It's its own economy. This is Steel Town. Like it has an entire infrastructure and engine around it. And I'll get into that next. So what we're talking about, and why I mentioned the population of 20% increase, that's not the wow factor. The wow factor and what makes tonight white hot is the fact that the population of seniors in Hamilton over the next 10 years, not 15 years that I mentioned earlier, is going to grow by 100%. So in the next 10 years, the senior population of Hamilton is estimated to grow by 100%. Why? Because people in Toronto that are selling their $2 and $3 million home are cashing out and going to Hamilton, to Niagara region, to that west corridor. Excuse me one second. To that west corridor where they're paying cash for their purchase and living the retirement of their dreams in arguably one of the best and most beautiful places in the country. Hamilton has all the infrastructure, universities, hospitals, everything you could imagine, times two, with colleges and campuses and everything else. So people are loving the West Corridor. Enter Pier 8, which is the old harbor going in on the north side of Hamilton, okay? Pier 8 is slated, not pie in the sky, developed, the roads are in, the buildings are gone, sidewalks have been built, anybody can go walk it, 1,500 doors are going into Pier 8 over the next 4 years. So in June of next year, whoever's going to come into REC Marketplace is going to be hearing the condo opportunities there. What you're going to hear about tonight is the very first commercial infrastructure project in the West Harbor at Pier 8 in Hamilton, which is a retirement home.
Okay, so how does this investment work, Simo?
So we have the total inventory is 135 units.
Okay.
The builder is holding back 40% of the inventory for themselves. The actual builder, Tom and company, are holding back 40% of the inventory. I have 85 units, of which 70 are committed to our group specifically. So the people here tonight are going to be able to participate in the absolute first moment of this inventory hitting the market.
I love it. So very similar to the strategy at Cielo, which was get in first access, because as the builder and yourself start to negotiate and the builder wants to increase pricing depending on sales, getting in early and in the absolute first access is what this strategy is all about. But this investment is slightly different than Cielo, because with Cielo, we're going to be renting it out for our insiders, and we're going to be renting it out to either students at UFT or tenants that work downtown Toronto. This investment in Hamilton, and it is called Harbor Life. You will be able to get all the access, and I'm going to be speaking about that at the end of the marketplace. How does the rental aspect of this investment work, Simos?
Yeah, so it doesn't get any more turnkey. So basically, these are commercial condominiums. The builder is coming out of the gate to sell 60% of the inventory. And they're going to do it immediately. We're going to sell this out within 30 days so they can get their financing and start building. The old building is being already demolished. So they're it's 135 units, not 400 units downtown. So they're actually self-funding the initial portion because they can. But typically they would have to sell 60% before they get financed to do these things. Now, the difference here, this is a commercial condominium. We already know it's going to be a retirement home. We already know who the operator is going to be. We have already signed a lease with the said operator, which is Grandview Consulting, biggest consultant in retirement home space in Ontario. 2 of their members are sitting on the board of ORCA, which is the Ontario Retirement Community Association, etc. So extremely fluid, knowledgeable, and experienced in the space. So that's your tenant. So it's like me buying the corner of whatever and doing a deal with Timmy's before I even build it. Precisely the same. So understand what your lease is. What is it you're buying? You're buying one of the rooms of the retirement home. Suites range between 400 and 800 square feet. So you're buying a unit in a retirement home. The deposit structure is over 2 years. It's going to be built over 2.5 years, 2 years to 2.5 years. So your deposits are going to be very flexible and throughout that period. The play here is not to buy and hold. The play here is to buy, close, and get out. Why do I say that? Once the building is complete and registered, it's going to be leased and stabilized. I have already had a million discussions. I am already in possession of a letter of intent, a binding letter of intent from the operator that within 1 year of you closing on this, they're going to be preparing an offer to you, an optional offer. You want to stay and hold it forever, you go right ahead. The cash flow is that your lease is literally created to just carry your mortgage because you don't have any other expenses. This is a commercial triple net lease. For those who don't know what that is, in commercial real estate, the reason all the big guys and the REITs like commercial real estate is the taxes, the maintenance, the insurance, the condo fees, everything is covered by the tenant. So your retirement home operator is paying all those. You're paying nothing. You're paying a mortgage. If you use cash, you're paying nothing, and you're pocketing that payment. So the lease amount that's pre-negotiated is exactly enough to cover a commercial mortgage. So they're making sure that day one you're cash flow positive, but you're not cash flow positive insane amounts. They want
$100, 150, $200 kind of a month.
That's right. Up to 400 or 500, 700 if you buy one of the big ones. So the more you buy, the better that cash flow is. But the percentage of the return is the same. So whether you buy a small one or a big one, the return is the same. But if you have more money, you're going to make more money. If you have less money, but you can get into an investment and make the same return as somebody with more money. The amazing part of this is that you know that they're going to buy you out. As a fact. And you know how much you're going to get bought out for.
And that's why we're calling this the opportunity that comes with a predetermined exit strategy. As Simos mentioned, this is not really to buy it and hold it forever, which we're big believers of.
No, but Cielo is
100%. And the third opportunity we're going to be speaking about has an element to that, but this one is different. This is, you get in now, you let it build.
The difference is simple. We don't like one better than the other. The difference is one is for one type of investor, the other is for the other type. So Cielo, exactly what Charlie quote Charles. Charles said, this is for those who have a genuine belief that Toronto will keep marching. And not only are we believers of Toronto keep marching, there's thousands or millions of us. So if you believe that Toronto is going to keep growing at the rate that it has, Cielo is a tremendous purchase for you. Why? Because the equity is going to be massive. Hamilton, the one that I'm telling you right now is an incredible opportunity, is for those who've already bought 4 or 5 condos and are looking for stability, meaning the chances of you not making 40% over the next 4 years, which the aggregate amounts to about 18% a year, let's say, is slim. I'm not going to say slim to none. I'll never use stupid words, but I will say it's the most stable a real estate investment can possibly be. It will be the most boring investment you will ever make, but it's by far, you have control of almost everything. The only thing you know who your tenant's control over is who lays the bricks.
Exactly.
No,
and
so you know the lease, you know the builder, you know the timeline, you have everything. So everything is pre-negotiated, no surprises, no nonsense, no HST refunds. Like commercial is different, it's cleaner. So because I live in that space. So if you are looking to diversify your portfolio, if you're looking for a stable investment over the next, the timeline is 3 to 4 years, you'll be out, depending on how quickly they build. They don't anticipate any delays because they have their own crews. They're not relying on GCs. So it's their own.
What's the purchase prices? I want you to mention the purchase prices, brother.
$389 to $699.
So anywhere from, call it 390 over to 690.
700 to 700.
So I apologize, to 700. That's the price point, the deposit structures, because it's commercial. Can we do it with 20% down? Do we have to do it 25% down? Where are we at there?
It's 25%, but the last 5% for everyone to know is due on closing. So a lot of you are not going to need the 5% on closing because you're going to either finance it yourself or you're going to your mortgage, you have better credit. Hamilton is a very financeable location.
Yeah.
But we are saying 25% because it is commercial.
Yeah.
It is a commercial condominium. So 25% is a requirement. But a lot of you or most of you are more than likely only going to have to put down 20% depending on your finance package.
Just like Cielo, I'm going to let you know where you can get the full package for Harbor Life, the project that Simos just spoke about in Hamilton. After we're done, the third opportunity, but all the performers are built, the floor plans are built, your ability to put in a reservation form all goes down in the next 15 to 18 minutes on the first ever REC Investor Marketplace. If you guys can't feel the passion coming through this screen and that beautiful bald head with the smile on the face, I don't know what's going on. It's a Friday night here in Toronto, and we're bringing 3 opportunities to you, Simos.
I'm honestly in the greatest mood ever. I've had a tremendous
Sure,
day.
You were on the golf course day all day today, brother.
I've had a tremendous day. I'm not going to lie. Like I'm in a really, really good place right now. And it's just such amazing things came out of that. And now this, like literally over 260 people at this point are watching. So we couldn't be more privileged to have such an amazing and loyal inside network to go over these things with. So just for me to sign off, Jazzy, my commitment to our insiders, like I'm not a guest here. This is my house. So I will tell every single one of you, I don't care if it takes a week or 2 weeks. If every single one of you needs to sit down and have a 30-minute chat, a 45-minute chat, a 3-hour chat. We've been doing this for a decade, having these chats more with every one of you. Every one of you have come through a REAP, a real estate action plan. Not one of you has not had one. So I will do it again and again and again. And the reason is we respect our relationship. I don't want anybody to buy anything ever from the marketplace if we don't all believe that it's the exact right thing for you. So take the time you need, go through all the assets that Jazz is going to share. But if you need to set up a time to chat about, if you're confident in it, by all means, go ahead. But if you have one tiny little question, it needs to be answered. And my commitment is, it's obviously very busy right this second, but we are going to get through because we're very busy helping people like you. That's what's making us busy. So
love it, buddy.
Please don't ever think you're bothering us. If I ever hear that again, it's disappointing to hear. We're here for you. Please reach out.
It's what keeps the lights on. Always bother us. It's what keeps the lights on. I couldn't have said it any better, brother. Thank you. And I'll let everyone know how, if you choose to get information on Harbor Life in Hamilton, you're going to be dealing directly with Simos, as well as his right-hand guy, starting to become his left-hand guy and right-hand guy, Mr. Bobby Pume, Director of Operations here at REC Canada. Big shout out to Bobby Pume as well. All right, Simos, I'll see you later, brother. Everyone, you will be seeing us together next Saturday, not tomorrow, next Saturday on our brunch with REC Live on Facebook. You'll see us together.
I'm going to come off. Good evening, REC Nation. Enjoy the rest of the show. I'll be watching in the back. Take care.
All right, guys, we are coming to the end almost. This next guest might say I saved the best for last, but I know Charlie and I know Simos would have a lot to say about it. We're going to leave Canada virtually, and we're going to get onto a flight for 3 hours and go see our friend, Mr. Dawood from Orlando, Florida. Let's bring him in, Steven. There he is. Look at that. Look at that smile. What's going on, Dawood?
Well, first of all, the flight to come down is actually even closer than 3 hours. I think it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something.
Bro, that's quicker than me driving on 401 to Windsor, my man. I took your line.
Man.
Hey, I took your line. I took your line.
I used to say London, Ontario, because it took longer than that as well, too.
Dawood, you are going to be bringing my REC insiders today, the over 275, 280 people now that are on watching this all go down. You're going to be bringing us a cash flowing turnkey investment in Orlando, Florida. What is the opportunity for my investors today, brother?
Well, first and foremost, it's not just only a cash flow opportunity in Orlando, Florida, but it's actually one that every Canadian has been waiting for. And the reason why I say that is because I'm Canadian myself. And, I found a great opportunity to come back home to Canada and be able to bring Canadian Florida properties and bring Canadian investors back to Florida so that they could purchase these properties just when the market crashed. So we'd be taking up trips on a monthly basis for anywhere from 5 days to 2-3 weeks at a time to come and present opportunities, except we didn't have the luxury of technology and Zoom calls. We actually used to come and do, dog and pony shows at your office and many other places. For the listeners who don't know, Jazz and Simeon are my family. We've worked together for how long? 10 years?
Over a decade, man. Yeah, I think we're going on year 11 right now.
I think we connected in like 2011 or something. Yeah, it's a decade, 2010, 2011. So what the Canadians always wanted wasn't the ability to be able to purchase a property, use it part-time, because every Canadian dreams about running away from Canada in the wintertime, and not, having it be the last winter that they enjoy or not enjoy somewhere else. I mean, not enjoy in Canada, but enjoy somewhere else. And the point is, this is a unique opportunity because not only does it cash flow, you actually have the luxury of using it as a short-term vacation rental, because this project is 126 townhouse units, 2 exits away from Disney. And if that's not good enough, the 4, 5 bedrooms come with private swimming pools in your back patio area in your very own townhouse, and a jacuzzi in a 3 bedroom model. So you don't have to even go to the clubhouse and enjoy, the sleek boutique clubhouse. It's or the fitness center or the kids play area or the putt putt golf, so that you don't have to go spend all that money at one of the theme parks. You can just hang out at the community and enjoy that. You can just do that in your very own backyard. So if the kids are wanting their own space and their own media room to go and enjoy and play video games or watch a movie, they can just go upstairs into that living room.
I think it's the other way around, though, Dawood. I think it's usually the parents want the private time and space away from the kids, probably.
Which
right?
is downstairs in the swimming pool.
Which is downstairs in the swimming pool. I love that. Okay, now, biggest question I've always got. In fact, I personally had it myself. I don't say this lightly, and Simos would definitely, reiterate whether I'm about to say. We can't always invest in every single opportunity that comes to our table, but this one here, we did personally invest into ourselves as well. We also brought our family members into this investment because we just always wanted something in Florida. We wanted something from a short-term vacation rental perspective. This is, I'm telling you that we've invested in this. And for anybody who knows us, we don't say that about every single project. But the question I had, the question that Simo said, the question that 99% of Canadians had, especially the ones who've never done it before, is how does this all work? Me as a Canadian buying an American property, I love the fact that, okay, I can buy this. It's all rented by one of the biggest property management companies in the United States of America. I love the fact that I can just sleep well at night. You deal with the tenants, you deal with the toilets. I love that it's cash flowing anywhere from $500 to about $1,100 USD a month. Yes, you did hear this right. These are cash flowing anywhere from $500 upwards to about $1,200 actually USD a month. But how do I get a mortgage? What about the accounting and all the taxes? And what about all the legal? Please talk about this to all the insiders today.
So let's backtrack, right? So in 2008, when the market crashed, the Canadian dollar was still at about $1.30 relative to the US dollar. And pretty much the only property Canadians could afford to buy would be a cash purchase for a long-term condo investment. And what ended up happening shortly afterwards is the Canadian dollar started to strengthen against the US dollar, where the Canadian dollar became even stronger than the US dollar, where the Canadian had the best buying power to buy real estate. As a matter of fact, they were the #1 foreign nationals to be able to purchase properties, not only in Florida, but in various parts of the country, but mostly Florida. And what we came to realize was, once we were able to identify this need that they had to come down and obviously get away and buy a place in the sun, we needed to create a turnkey, headache-free process for them so that they could come, open a bank account, get a mortgage, because there weren't mortgages available because they were only able to buy cash in the past. Now they are. We have banks like TD and RBC that are able to provide mortgages for Canadians. And this is RBC Canada, USA and TD USA, not RBC Canada and TD Canada. So they operate as different entities, even though they are sister companies. And they have wonderful programs for Canadians with as little as 20 to 25% as a down payment, and very reasonable low interest rates as well too.
And Dawood, you guys have all that figured out for us, right? Like I mean, okay, good, because I can't go too long tail on the marketplace because Laura and Steven are going to win this bet that we had, because I'm going to go slightly over 730. But I'm going to go slightly. It's okay because it's important. But you have this all figured out.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes. Lawyers, bank, mortgages, property management, all taken care of. This is going to be a headache-free investment. There is not going to be any self-management or any kind of worry management that you have to do from another country. Nobody's going to be calling you asking for any, maintenance issues or whatever it is while you're in Canada or
And I
anywhere
can,
else in the country.
and as an investor, if I choose, I can also make use of it for 1 week out of the 52, maybe 2 weeks.
You can actually use it for all 52 weeks if you choose to. It's your home. You tell the property management company for how short or how long you decide to stay. In some cases, some people are considering this as a pseudo retirement property, a second home, a home away from home, especially for a lot of people that have the luxury to work from home now. You can treat this as a second home and stay there as long as you want.
Now, Dawood, I want to give you, 60 seconds. Give me the Reader's Digest version. And I know anybody younger than, I guess, 25 or 30 that's watching has no idea what the Reader's Digest is. But anyways, I want you to give me that quick 60 seconds on why Orlando. What's going on in the marketplace in Orlando from a real estate perspective, buddy?
Listen, you must be living underneath a rock if you didn't realize. If you have any kids, for starters, you have to be the worst parent on the planet if you're not planning to bring your kids to Disneyland. Jeff, you're
Bro,
one of those
stop
parents,
it.
man.
I know. I have not
I'm
taken
still
them.
waiting
I've
for
never
you to
been.
come. You bought the place, but you haven't come down yet.
Hey, look,
can
I love
blame it
my
on
father.
COVID for right now.
Well, look, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess, right? My dad never took me to Disneyland. So maybe I'm not going to take my kids. But now with this property, I'm definitely going to take my kids there. Continue.
Pay it forward. Do the right thing. Okay, so we had over 78 million tourists that came to visit Orlando in 2019. And we've been breaking records since 2016, 17, 18, 19. And the amount of visitors coming down, not just for the attractions and the theme parks, but we also have the second largest convention center. There's a lot of reasons why you would come to Florida. It's a central part of the state, and it's a great vacation destination with great weather all year round. For that being the case, it's also the #1 visited destination. And as a result of what's been going on with the pandemic and Corona, the CDC has actually warned people that it's safer to stay in vacation rentals or vacation homes than it is to stay in a hotel. Ever since March, spring break of this year, the occupancy level of a lot of these properties has been over 86%, going all the way up to about 100%. 4th of July weekend, Orlando was the #1 visited destination in the country. So guys, like Wayne Gretzky said, I always play to where the puck is going to be. Do you want to be ahead of a trend or behind it?
Definitely as an investor. I mean, I agree, right? Like, I mean, there's a reason I brought all these 3 properties to the marketplace today, because look, I get 50 at my desk. Simos and his and the crew with him go out and get 50. They bring it to this table right here. Myself, Laura, Luke, and Tyler go through it, and we go through all the due diligence, and then we pick our 6 to 8. But I was brought all 3 all at once, and I couldn't pick. And I said, let's just do this all in 1 hour, bring all the opportunities. But it's important to mention what you said about Wayne Gretzky always going to where the puck was going, not necessarily where it was, because in real estate, if you can buy early and buy where the population growth is going to be increasing, as well as employment and or travel, like the amount of people. I mean, what was the number that you mentioned, buddy? How many people visited Orlando?
Okay. Hear this again. 78 million people. Let me put that in perspective. That is double the population of all of Canada coming to visit one city per year.
That's just amazing. I mean, so that is when if you can get in early enough. Now, really quickly, because I think I saw a couple of questions, and Laura's waving me down to let me know that hey, let's talk about when does this get completed? Because you're sitting in front of it right now, but that's a virtual picture of the clubhouse. You're not really there. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure everybody understood that. When is this going to be built by?
Okay, so the first 2 buildings are going to be completed by December 2021. We have a next phase of 4 buildings, which is going to be delivered in spring 2022, followed by the clubhouse. And then the next segment that we're looking at is summer 2022, following with what I'm anticipating for most of the people that are on the call that are going to inquire about this opportunity, realistically fall of 2022. Because we obviously know that we've held a number of units for your insiders to take advantage of.
And I appreciate you and your team. I mean, your partner Deep, who a lot of the people are going to be speaking with as well, and the rest of your crew. I mean, you guys are just have been amazing, to the finance, to the accounting, to the legal. And so you said it's going to be built in 1 year from now, approximately. Obviously, the numbers work in USD. We have it all set up. Is there anything that you wanted to leave my insiders with today, buddy, before you go?
So I just read a question, which I think is the best question for a lot of people to understand and answer. We have 126 units. We're pretty much halfway through, and we're looking at price points for 3 bedrooms starting in the low 300s. The prices for the 4 bedrooms and the 5 bedrooms are in the low 400s. We're talking about 414 range going all the way up to about 430, which is the prices that we've locked in for the limited units that we have for the insiders. And then right after that, just like you mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, the developer is going to do another increase for the next release of units that we're going to be doing as well too. And of course, all the prices are in USD because the project is in America.
And it's in Florida, to be exact, Orlando, Florida, to be exact. So would you say the 4 to 5 bedrooms, because I think that's where you get the best cash flowing, and all the performers are going to be available to everyone within the next 90 seconds to 120 seconds or so. 4 to 5 bedrooms. Just want you to repeat yourself again, please, Dawood, for everyone. 415,000 upwards to about 500.
Yeah, so 414 for the 4 bedrooms and 430 for the 5 bedrooms. Guys, good news is if we run out of 4 bedrooms, the 4 bedroom can easily be converted into a 5 bedroom by converting the media room on the 2nd floor.
I love you, Dawood. I love you, my man, for everything that you brought to us today. I know I asked yourself, Charles, and Simos to wrap up what you guys normally do with our clients, 35, 45 to 60 minutes, to do it all in 15 minutes and rapid fire it. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time again, brother.
No problem. My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
All right. To everyone else, the time has come now where you're going to have the ability to get all the information, specifically, when I say all the information, specifically for the Hamilton project, as well as the Azure Resort, the project that Dawood just finished speaking about. When it comes to Cielo right now, because it's so early in the process, there's not as much information as there is for the Hamilton Harbor Life project, as well as the Azure. But I'm going to have Steven. Steven, can you help me out here, brother? Share the screen. I want everyone to go to reccanada.com/for sale. reccanada.com/for sale. Laura, if you can do me a favor, Luke, whoever's in the comments, in the chats, put that link in there. You're going to see this page right here in front of you. You fill out your name, first name, last name, email, phone number, and then you click on the check mark. You check mark either all 3 opportunities, not 1 or 2, whatever you'd like to get the information on. Just for example purposes, Steven, can we click on all 3, brother? You click that big red orange button, submit. What will happen is you'll be redirected to the exclusive investor opportunity. Just scroll down. Thank you. You'll have the opportunity to get the information access package for Cielo. I'll come back up again really slowly. There you go. Harbor Life, which is Hamilton, as well as the Azure Resort. What happens is once you access package, you click it, you then have the reservation form. If you can just hover over that for me, Stephen, please, the reservation form. That's going to be in all 3 different packages. That is for you to lock in a townhome here for, in this example, at Azure. If you go to the Harbor Life, you can lock in a unit. You'll have the performas, you'll have the floor plans. But the most important thing to do tonight, there's a reason I want it to be done by around 7:30, is because I wanted to give everyone a lot of time before at the end of the night to fill out that reservation form. Now, what happens, guys and gals, once you fill out the reservation form, we get the information. If it's the Azure Resort, you'll be speaking directly with Dawood, Deep, and the rest of the team in Florida. If it's Harbor Life, you'll be speaking directly with Simos. And if it's Cielo, you'll be dealing directly with Luke, the Phenom Leasing, myself, and Charlie. And if it's all three, you're going to get a call from all three of us. And then we can walk through the best possible. I guess this is a video we're playing. That's really cool. We're going to walk through what possibly could be the next opportunity that goes into the next investment, that goes into your portfolio. I want everyone to take the time right now to go to reccanada.com/for sale and shoot us an email at any time at info@reccanada.com. That's info@reccanada.com. If you're having any problems with any of these packages or links, also send us a message and let us know what you think about and what you thought about the first ever REC marketplace. Did you like the format? Did you like the opportunities? What could we do better? Please give us your opinion and your feedback. It's the way that we get better. As I said at the start, the sign in my office here that is ready, fire, aim is here for a reason, because in real estate, you can tie up property, and you could do that today by going to reccanada.com/for sale, putting in a reservation form. You lock in a unit, you lock in a townhome, you lock in one of the rooms there in Harbor Life in Hamilton, the one that Simos was talking about. And then you get to breathe, because then we can get on a phone call with you and talk through to make sure this is the right investment. The other sign that's very important in my office is the one right here, which says removing friction. The reason we have this sign here is because what we try to do best here at REC Canada is to make it easy for you to do business with us. And from your feedback for the last 16 years, what we've heard and try to get better and better at every single day is to make it easier by answering all your questions. Don't ever, as Simos mentioned, don't ever feel like you're bothering us. In fact, bother us, because it's what keeps the lights on. I want to thank each and every one of you once again for taking the time on a Friday night. It's 7:45 almost here on the Eastern board. Make sure that you go to get all the information. And if one of these opportunities or two or three make sense, make sure to fill out the reservation form, and let's create wealth together. Let's create wealth together in real estate. REC Canada here is to help you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And a big, big shout out to all my team members who helped put this event on. It was the first ever REC Investors Marketplace. Have yourself a great evening, and I look forward to speaking to you guys and seeing you guys in person very, very soon. Have a great night, guys.